Hello everyone, and this is Alexander Semenenko after a one-year break from Voronezh, Russia. Today I'd like to announce my just published ebook, new ebook. It is called the Celtic or Celtic, there are two variants of pronunciation, Celtic Papers. It consists of an introduction and two chapters. The introduction deals with the most commonly noted parallels between the Celtic and the mature Harappan or South Asian in general civilizations, like the sitting position of a god or a wise man or a hero with crossed legs, similar to some asanas of Indian yoga and Buddhism and Indian culture in general. And the second parallel is the master of animal image on the famous mature Harappan Pashupati seal, surrounded by different animals. And also we have some parallels to this in Celtic culture. But as I think, as I see this, these most evident parallels are not the proof of Celts' origin out of from South Asia. We have also some general parallels like triple nature of Rigvedic and Celtic religious images, like similar strata, riders and druids in the Celtic society, and Brahmanas and Kshatriyas in the ancient Indian society. We have a common boar cult, Varaha, and the common bear, Riksha cult in Rigveda and in the Celtic society. And we also have the common cult of mother goddesses in the mature Harappa and premature Harappa and Rigveda and in the Celtic civilization. But all these parallels drawn by different scholars and by me, they are not the evidence of the origin of the Celts out of the northwestern South Asia. They mostly show us that the Celts and the population of the South Asia were of the common origin, but they didn't show us the traces of migration and the direction of migration and so on. That's why I've decided to search for such an argument, both archaeological and textual, that can be traced in the material evidence, and that can point at the route of migration, if taken chronologically, of the pre-Celtic or pre-Celtic tribes from the northwestern South Asia. And that was the cult of the goddess, of the Celtic goddess, which is the mistress of horses. And the first chapter of my book deals with this goddess, equine goddess cult in Rigveda and in the Celtic society. I have taken dozens of silver and gold coins from the most important museums of Europe and Northern America, like the British Museum, like the National Library of France, like Vienna Museum of the History of Art, and like this, American Numismatic Society, and so on. And they have some, say, several dozens, or maybe even 100 or more silver and gold coins dated from approximately the beginning of the 3rd hundred BCE and up to the beginning of the Christian era. The most important are the gold coins of different Gallic tribes, which are dated very broadly by the curators of the French National Library between the 300 and 1 years BC. I think that to be more correct, they should be dated by the 1st century BC. The date here is not important. What is important is the depiction of attributes of the goddess and the goddess itself, herself. Let us look at these coins, and you will get the idea I would like to convey to you. Here we come. We start from the gold coins dated around 100 BCE. They are mostly all from Bibliothèque Nationale de France, the Department of Medals and Antiquities and Coins. Here we have the depiction of a chariot goddess. You see the goddess itself, herself. You see the breasts, and you see the horse, and you see the musical instrument under the horse. And we have several of such coins with the same depiction. Then we have a more interesting coin, a goddess riding a horse. She's naked, and she's definitely holding a sword. We will talk about it later. It has an antenna hilt. Here we see the part of it. And then we also see the musical instrument under the horse. So the goddess is naked, the goddess is riding the horse, and the goddess is armed with an antenna-hilted sword. Now let us continue. Again, another coin. We see the goddess jumping over the horse's back, and we see the antenna-hilted sword under the horse, and we see a wheel sign behind the horse. Let us move. Again, one more coin. Again, a naked goddess riding a horse with a spear in her hand. And now we have the same goddess, naked goddess riding a horse with a musical instrument in front of the horse, and she's holding turquoise, that is a gold necklace, especially for aristocrats and for noble warriors. And also we see some solar symbol above her head. Again, we see two horses riding side by side, and the naked goddess is riding the very first one. We have a better coin here, yes, and now we see that she is holding a gold necklace in her right hand, and she's holding a kind of shield or a kind of, or maybe a four-spoked wheel in her left hand, together with the branch of a tree. And again, very beautiful coin. Again, we see some plant depicted, and we see a naked goddess riding a horse, holding a spear and a shield or a wheel with four spokes. And again, and here also the very same picture. very definite. And now we have a slightly different picture. We have a horse riding goddess. She's naked, holding a shield in her right hand and holding a sword. You can see it here. You can see it in this part. Antenna-hilted sword, and we also see the musical instrument under the horse. And a clearer picture. Again, a musical instrument, a naked goddess riding a horse, holding an antenna-hilted sword and a shield, and also a wheel symbol in front of the horse. And one more. Again, she's having a sword. This is the hilt of a sword, antenna hilt, and she's naked and holding a shield and a musical instrument under the horse. And more, and more. And again, she's jumping over the horse while riding it. And this is a very interesting and very important coin. We have here the goddess. Definitely she has some belt on her body. But what is most important, that she is riding a horse and she has a cow-like head with 3 horns, but 2 horns are definitely that of a cow. And she is holding 2 symbols, a wheel with 4 spokes, or a shield looking like a wheel with 4 spokes, and a sun head of some kind. So we have solar symbol, cow symbol, and wheel symbol, horse symbol, and goddess symbol, all together melted in one coin. And we have one more of similar coins. Again, here we see the horse and the goddess. She is naked, definitely, and she has a cow-like head, because we see exactly 1 horn, and she's holding a shield and probably a sword, because we have we see here the antenna hilt of a sword, and also a musical instrument under the horse. So we see that horse symbolism and cow symbolism is melted in one image of this goddess. She is associated with a horse, and she's also identified with a cow, with a horned cow. And again, one rare bronze coin, a horse riding goddess, naked and with a branch of a plant in her hand. And then we have a series of goddess driving a chariot drawn by a man-headed horse with some different symbols such as wheels and so on. There are several, and sometimes she is holding a branch of a tree with the leaves or with some fruit on it. And also we have again the wheels symbol under the horse. What is very important in these coins is that we see exactly, directly how the Celts imagined these goddess themselves without any distortion by foreign historians or foreign evidence. And we see here definitely that the horse and the chariot and the goddess, they are moving across the sky, because under them we can see a flying naked goddess also, or an angel, several times. So it is a sky chariot of a sky goddess. And she's naked, it is definitely like here, for example, we can see it, and again flying goddess under her horse. And again you see a tree with some fruit, with some berries on it, and this is a very definite depiction of the same, and you again see that she's a female, and again and again and again. So what we can make out of these coins? We can draw parallels between the Rigveda cult of Ushas Aditi and between the Celtic horse goddess. There are 9 exact parallels, direct parallels. I was able to trace, and I'd like to share them with you, because I think that it is very important to trace this South Asian and at the same time simultaneously Rigvedic origin of the most important Celtic cult. And here again, pay attention again to this coin. We see a goddess riding a horse, and we see an antenna-hilted sword under the horse, under her horse. And again. And here on this coin we see even 2 swords, one in the hand, in the right hand of the goddess, and the second is placed under the horse. As far as I know, no one before has paid attention to these coins of the French National Library, and they are for the first time drawn as an argument to trace the origin of the Celts out of the South Asia. And one more very interesting coin. Here we have the horse-riding goddess, but it is not exactly the horse, because it has 2 horns, very long horns, and they are twisting. So probably it is a bull horse, the kind of which we can find in Rigveda also, Vrishanashva. And some silver coins, so that's the... and here we see that the goddess is not only naked but also winged. We see a wing above her back. So, but before talking more about this, I'd like firstly to summarize the parallels made by me between these Celtic coins, gold mostly coins, and some silver coins, depicting the horse riding or driving horse chariot goddess, naked goddess, and between the Rigveda. I won't cite you the Rigvedic evidence, I just, you can check it yourselves, but I'd like just to enumerate the parallels drawn by me between the Rigveda cult of Ushasaditi and between the Celtic cult of this horse riding or goddess. The first parallel is that they are both naked, and their breasts are shown, or their breasts are spoken of as in the Rigveda many times. The second is their associations with the horses in the Celtic culture and with the Ashvas in the Rigvedic culture. In Rigveda we have even the identification of Ushas with the Ashvi. Several times we have this identification. The third parallel, one more time, I'd like to stress here that we don't know what was the Ashva of Rigveda, but it was some very swift animal. It may be an equid like true horse or Khur or K.i.n or even a bird, wind, and Agni flames, and maybe even some bulls and so on. But we definitely see that the Rigvedic image of Ashva, of a swift creature, is more ancient than the more narrow image of the Celtic just horse goddess. So, but the association with the Ashva of Ushas and with the horse of the Celtic goddess is evident. Let us move. The third parallel is the association with the bulls and cows. In Rigveda, in both cultures, but in Rigveda and in the Celtic culture, we have the identification of the goddess with the cow. It is very important. The fourth is the association with the sun. We know that Surya is Usha Slava in Rigveda, that she leads Surya after herself, and we have many solar symbols on the Celtic coins depicting this naked goddess. The fifth parallel is the association with the will in both cultures. In Rigveda, Ushas is even one time described, is likened to a will. The will of the sun, the will of the time, and so on. The will of the power, by the way. Power, I mean kingship. Now, the sixth parallel is the association with the chariots. Both in Rigveda, she has bull-drawn chariot, she has Ashva-drawn chariot, she carries all gods to Soma drinking place. Her chariot is great and broad and shining and so on. And the same, we have many coins depicting the naked goddess of the Celts driving a chariot. They are both warrior goddesses. In Rigveda, we have Ushas fighting with the darkness and its forces, and on the Celtic coins, the goddess is many times armed with a spear or a antenna-hilted sword. Again, the eighth parallel, their connection to music. In Rigveda, we have one mention of Ushasas, I mean plural goddesses. They are singing as women. And we have many times the depiction of some musical instrument on the gold coins of the Celts. And the last parallel is their mastership over all living beings. In Rigveda, Ushas is described as the source of life and as the life itself. She creates life, she gives new life, and she makes life longer.